He caught his maid praying over his son's bed late at night. What she was praying for broke his heart and changed his life. What secret could turn a billionaire's world upside down? We're diving into a story that's got it all: heart, mystery, and a twist that'll hit you like a lightning bolt. It's about Michael Grant, a billionaire who thought he had everything under control, until he saw his maid, Rosa, praying over his 6-year-old son's bed. He thought she was just being weird, but her prayers revealed a truth that shook him to his core. This isn't just about a rich guy's wake-up call, it's about family, faith, and the people we overlook every day. Stick around, because this story will grab your heart, make you laugh, maybe make you cry, and definitely make you rethink who really sees what's going on in your life. Let's paint the picture. Michael Grant is 45, a real estate king running Grant Properties, a company that owns half of Miami's skyline, with a net worth of $10 billion, according to Forbes' 2025 rankings. He's got a beachfront mansion in South Beach, a yacht docked in the Bahamas, and a private jet ready to go anywhere. Michael's married to Lauren, a fashion designer whose brand is all over Vogue and worn by celebrities. They've got a 6-year-old son, Noah, a curious kid who loves building sandcastles and collecting seashells. From the outside, their life looks like a glossy magazine spread, perfect, shiny, unstoppable. But inside? It's a different story. Michael's days are packed with meetings, property deals, and late-night calls with investors in Dubai or Tokyo. He's up at 5 a.m., checking blueprints or running on his beachfront treadmill. Lauren's just as busy, sketching designs, meeting with models, or flying to Paris for Fashion Week. Their South Beach mansion is a 14,000-square-foot paradise. Marble floors, ocean views, a pool that sparkles like diamonds. But it's cold, more like a showroom than a home. Noah's caught in the middle, cared for by tutors, nannies, and their live-in maid, Rosa. Rosa's 32, from the Dominican Republic, and has been with the Grants for 5 years. She's the one who keeps their world running, cleaning, cooking, making sure Noah's seashell collection is safe. Rosa's got a warm smile that could melt a storm and a knack for making people feel cared for. To Michael and Lauren, she's just part of the staff, someone who fades into the background. But to Noah, Rosa's everything, the one who builds sandcastles with him, sings him to sleep, and listens to his stories about mermaids. Noah's a first grader, always running around with a bucket of seashells or asking questions about the ocean. He's bright, full of energy, but lately, he's been acting strange, quiet, clingy, waking up at night crying. Michael and Lauren think it's just a phase, but Rosa sees something deeper. One night, Michael comes home late and catches Rosa kneeling by Noah's bed, praying softly in Spanish. Rosa notices Noah's changes, his nightmares, his clinginess, the way he whispers he's scared when she tucks him in. To Noah, Rosa's not the help, she's his safe place, the one who makes the mansion feel like home. Now, let's talk about Rosa. She grew up in a small town in the Dominican Republic, in a colorful house with a tin roof, surrounded by palm trees and the sound of merengue music. Rosa was the caretaker, helping her mom cook sancocho for her 6 siblings or teaching her little brother to read. She dreamed of being a social worker, but at 20, her dad got sick, and the family needed money. Rosa came to the U.S. at 22, leaving her 4-year-old son, Diego, with her mom. She promised to send money for his school and clothes, vowing to return soon. That was 10 years ago. Rosa earns $34,000 a year, a fortune back home but barely enough in Miami. She sends $1,800 a month to her mom, covering Diego's school, her dad's medicine, and food for her siblings. She lives in a tiny apartment in Little Havana, sharing it with 3 other maids to afford the $1,600 rent. Every night, she video calls Diego, now 14, listening to him talk about soccer and his dream of being a pilot. Rosa smiles, but it hurts. She's missed his first goal, his first school dance, his whole childhood. A 2025 Economic Policy Institute report says domestic workers like Rosa earn a median of $14.50 an hour, often with no benefits or job security. Many are immigrants, facing language barriers and fear of deportation. Rosa's one of them, but her faith keeps her strong. Her job at the Grants is relentless. She's up at 5 a.m., cleaning a mansion that could fit her town's church. She dusts $50,000 chandeliers, scrubs granite counters, and cooks meals for a family that's rarely home. She's taught herself English by reading Noah's picture books, picking up words like seashell and mermaid. Rosa's got a warmth that could light up a hurricane, but to Michael and Lauren, she's invisible, just the person who makes sure the laundry's folded and Noah's fed. Her bond with Noah started early. When Noah was 2, he got scared during a thunderstorm, crying for his mom. Rosa scooped him up, singing a Dominican lullaby about stars dancing in the sky. From then on, Noah trusted her. Rosa knows his favorite seashell, a shiny conch, his fear of loud noises, and how he likes his sandcastles built with extra towers. When Noah's scared, Rosa tells him stories about her town, where kids fish in the river and dance under the stars. To Noah, Rosa's not the help, she's family. Here's the heart of it: Michael and Lauren are missing Noah's cries for help. He's not just going through a phase, he's scared, anxious, and it's tied to something bigger. Rosa's prayers over his bed aren't random, they're for a fear she's noticed that nobody else has. Why is she praying? And what's wrong with Noah that she's so worried about? This moment flips Michael's world. He's been so busy building skyscrapers that he's missed something huge, not just about Rosa, but about his own son. Rosa's prayers are for a problem she's been carrying alone, one that could change everything for the Grants. This story isn't just about a maid's faith, it's about a problem we all face, missing the struggles of those closest to us because we're too caught up in our own grind. The challenge is clear: how do you stay connected to your family when life's pulling you apart? Let's dive into Noah's life. He's 6, a first grader at a fancy Miami private school where kids learn Spanish alongside math. Noah's a bundle of energy, always building sandcastles in the backyard or lining up his seashells by size and color. His room's a beachy wonderland: blue walls, a bed shaped like a boat, and a shelf full of shells he's collected from South Beach. He loves telling stories about mermaids saving sailors or sharks guarding treasure. But over the past few months, Noah's been different. He's quieter, less excited about school or the beach. He's been waking up at night, crying, saying his tummy hurts or he's scared. He clings to Rosa, following her around the mansion, refusing to let go of her hand. At school, he's falling behind, struggling with reading and avoiding playtime with other kids. His teachers send notes home, saying he's anxious, distracted, not himself. Noah's not eating much either, pushing away Rosa's arroz con pollo, his favorite. A 2023 Child Mind Institute study says 20% of kids ages 5 to 7 show signs of anxiety due to family stress or parental absence, often missed by busy parents. Noah's a textbook case, struggling in the shadow of his parents' hectic lives. Michael and Lauren notice bits of it, but they're swamped. Michael's company, Grant Properties, is developing a $4 billion eco-friendly skyscraper, a project with 12,000 workers counting on him. He's on calls at 2 a.m., reviewing contracts or meeting investors in London. Lauren's no different: she's launching a new fashion line, dressing A-list celebrities, and flying to New York for runway shows. Their mansion is stunning: floor-to-ceiling windows, a rooftop deck with ocean views, art worth millions, but it's empty of warmth. Noah's world is filled with schedules, not cuddles. Tutors drill him on letters, nannies make sure he's fed, but nobody's really there, except Rosa. Rosa's the one constant. She's there when Noah wakes up, making pancakes shaped like starfish, just how he likes them. She listens to his mermaid stories, nodding like they're the most important thing she's ever heard. When Noah falls in the sand, scraping his knee, Rosa's the one with the band-aid and a hug, saying, "You're braver than a pirate, pequeño." A 2024 Child Mind Institute study says 25% of kids ages 5 to 7 show signs of anxiety, like nightmares or clinginess, due to family stress or instability, often overlooked by parents. Noah's struggling, and only Rosa sees the full picture. This isn't just about Noah. It's about how we overlook the people who see our kids clearly. Michael's building skyscrapers, Lauren's designing dresses, but they're blind to Rosa's insight and Noah's fear. A 2022 American Journal of Public Health study says low-wage workers like Rosa are often dismissed when they share concerns, even when they're right. The challenge is huge. How do you stay connected to your kids when life's a tornado? And how do you listen to the invisible people who might see what you're missing? Let's unpack this. Michael's world is all about real estate, skyscrapers, condos, billion-dollar deals. Grant Properties manages $30 billion in assets, employs 8,000 people, and has projects in 10 countries. Michael's on the cover of Business Insider, but he's also on his phone 18 hours a day, checking contracts or negotiating with developers. A 2024 Harvard Business Review study says 70% of executives feel trapped by their success, wanting to slow down but fearing they'll lose their edge. Michael's one of them, running on a treadmill that never stops. Lauren's in the same race. Her fashion brand, Lauren Luxe, is a hit with celebrities, and she's prepping for a Paris runway show. She's sketching designs, meeting with stylists, or flying to Milan for fabric sourcing. A 2023 Fashion Business Journal study says 60% of designers report strained family relationships due to work. Lauren loves Noah, but she's barely home, and the guilt eats at her. Noah's caught in the crossfire. His days are packed: school, soccer, art classes, tutors. He's got everything a kid could want: a room full of toys, a tablet with every app, a bike with ocean blue tires. But what he really wants is his parents. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 62% of kids with busy parents feel emotionally disconnected, leading to anxiety or fear. Noah's not just clingy, he's scared. One night, Rosa's tucking Noah into bed when he grabs her hand, whispering, "I'm scared mommy and daddy are leaving me." His nightmares are full of monsters taking his parents away, tied to the fact that Michael and Lauren are barely home. Rosa's been watching him closely, his nightmares, his clinginess, the way he cries when left alone. She's no therapist, but she's seen this before. Her nephew in the Dominican Republic got anxious when his parents worked long hours, showing the same signs: nightmares, tummy aches, fear of being left. Rosa's gut tells her Noah's anxiety is tied to his parents' absence. She starts praying over his bed, asking for peace for Noah and wisdom for his parents. She's been tracking his behavior in a notebook: nightmares 3 times a week, tummy aches after school, clinginess when Michael or Lauren leave. Rosa searches online, finding a 2023 NIH article about childhood anxiety, saying parental absence can trigger fears of abandonment, especially in kids under 7. A 2024 pediatric study says 15% of kids develop anxiety from inconsistent parental presence, often misdiagnosed as behavioral issues. But Rosa's scared to speak up. She's just the maid, and the Grants barely notice her. A 2025 National Domestic Workers Alliance report says 60% of domestic workers fear retaliation for raising concerns about their employer's kids. Rosa's visa depends on this job, and Diego needs her income. But Noah's scared whispers keep her awake. She can't stay quiet. Rosa tries to be subtle. One morning, while serving Lauren coffee, she says, "Noah's been having nightmares. Maybe he needs more time with you." Lauren nods, distracted by a design sketch, and forgets. Michael's no better. He's on a call with Dubai, promising to talk later but never does. Rosa's frustrated but keeps trying. She slips a note into Noah's backpack: "You're strong like a pirate. Tell mommy or daddy if you're scared." Noah shows it to Michael, but he laughs it off, saying, kids have nightmares, Rosa. Weeks pass, and Noah's getting worse. His nightmares are nightly, his tummy aches constant, and he's stopped building sandcastles. Rosa's worried he's slipping away. The night Michael catches her praying, she's at her breaking point. When he asks, "Rosa, why are you praying over Noah?" her voice shakes, but she spills it, "Mr. Grant, Noah's scared you and Mrs. Grant are leaving him. His nightmares, his tummy aches, it's because he misses you. He needs you here." Michael's stunned. Scared? His son? He's about to dismiss her, but Rosa's eyes are fierce, her prayers echoing in his head. He agrees to look into it, more to ease her worry than because he believes her. Michael calls a child psychologist the next day, expecting to hear it's just a phase. Tests and interviews reveal Noah has separation anxiety, triggered by his parents' absence. A 2024 Child Mind Institute report says 10% of kids develop anxiety from inconsistent parental presence, showing symptoms like nightmares and physical complaints. Rosa was right, Noah's fear wasn't a phase, it was a cry for connection. The Grants act fast. They enroll Noah in play therapy, where he draws his fears, monsters taking his parents away. Michael and Lauren cut back their hours, setting a no-work rule after 5 p.m. They start family nights, building sandcastles with Noah or reading mermaid stories. Within weeks, Noah's nightmares ease, his tummy aches fade, and he's back to collecting seashells. A 2023 pediatric study says early intervention in childhood anxiety can reduce symptoms by 80%. Noah's proof. Michael and Lauren are floored. They sit Rosa down, tears in their eyes, and thank her. Lauren hugs her, sobbing, "You saw our boy's heart when we didn't." Michael, usually all business, chokes up, "We were blind, Rosa. You saved him." Rosa's crying too, not used to being seen like this. She didn't pray for praise, she did it because Noah's smile is her sunshine. The psychologist praises Rosa's instincts, saying, "She's sharper than most parents." This moment changes everything. The Grants see Rosa differently, not as the help, but as family. They learn her story, Diego, her sacrifices, her social work dreams. Michael raises her salary to $65,000 and offers to fund Diego's education, covering his school fees and books. Rosa's overwhelmed, she's never been valued like this. A 2025 Journal of Social Issues study says recognizing low-wage workers' contributions can boost their well-being by 45%. Rosa's living proof. The Grants don't stop there. Michael skips late calls, spending evenings with Noah, building pirate ships in the sand. Lauren scales back her fashion shows, joining Noah for beach walks, collecting seashells. They continue therapy, learning to spot Noah's signals, his quiet moments, his scared whispers. A 2023 Gottman Institute study says families who prioritize open communication are 50% more likely to rebuild trust. It's not perfect, there are still late nights, but it's progress. Noah's bouncing back, his sandcastles bigger than ever. Rosa's still there, making starfish pancakes and cheering at Noah's soccer games. She's enrolled in a social work program, funded by the Grants, dreaming of helping kids in her town. Diego visits every summer, building sandcastles with Noah, their laughter mixing with the ocean waves. The Grants aren't perfect, they slip into old habits, but they're trying. They're showing up. Let's zoom out. This story isn't just about Rosa or Noah, it's about the people we overlook. The nanny who knows your kids' fears, the cleaner who sees their tears, the teacher who notices they're off. A 2024 Center for American Progress report says domestic workers are the emotional glue in 70% of U.S. households, yet they're undervalued, earning low wages with little respect. There are 2.5 million domestic workers in the U.S., 85% women, many immigrants like Rosa. They see our kids grow, notice the cracks in our lives, but we rarely listen, until something breaks. This goes beyond maids. Think about the invisible people in your life, the cashier who knows your order, the janitor who cleans your office, the bus driver who gets you home. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of Americans feel disconnected from their communities because they're too focused on their own grind. Rosa's story is a reminder, these people aren't just background noise. They're seeing truths we miss, holding our world together. So, what can we take from this? First, watch your kids closely. Noah's nightmares weren't just a phase, they were a signal something was wrong. A 2023 Child Mind Institute study says kids show distress through small signs, nightmares, clinginess, physical complaints. Second, listen to the nobodies. Rosa had no degree, but her instincts trumped the experts. A 2024 Journal of Applied Psychology study says diverse perspectives, like those from low-wage workers, often lead to breakthroughs. Third, slow down. Michael and Lauren were racing through life, building empires but missing their son's fear. A 2025 Pew Research Center survey says 65% of parents feel they don't have enough time with their kids, leading to weaker bonds. Take a page from the grants, put the phone down, skip the late call, be there. The small moments, sandcastles, stories, hugs, are what make a family. Rosa's prayers don't just help Noah, they spark change everywhere. The grant's nanny, Sophia, starts a support group for domestic workers, inspired by Rosa's courage. Their driver, Juan, pushes for school mental health programs, citing Noah's anxiety. Michael funds a 2025 initiative to educate parents about childhood anxiety, naming Rosa as the inspiration. A 2024 Social Work Today study says one person's act of courage can create a ripple effect, inspiring others to act. Rosa's proof, her prayers changed a family, a community, a mindset. Rosa's life is changing, too. She's halfway through her social work program, acing her classes and dreaming of a center for kids in the Dominican Republic. Diego visits, kicking a soccer ball with Noah, their laughter echoing on the beach. Noah's thriving, his seashell collection growing again. The grants are rebuilding, one hug, one story, one day at a time. They're not perfect, Michael still checks emails, Lauren takes fashion calls, but they're present. They're listening. What's the big lesson? The people we love can be hurting, and we might miss it if we're too busy. Noah was scared, but Michael and Lauren were blind until Rosa's prayers opened their eyes. And the invisible people, like Rosa, the maid praying over a child's bed, might see the truths we're too distracted to notice. Don't wait for a crisis to listen. Who's the Rosa in your life? The teacher who knows your kid's heart? The neighbor who checks in? A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of us feel disconnected because we're chasing our own goals. Slow down, look up, listen. Noah's back to his old self, building sandcastles and giggling on the beach. Rosa's studying, dreaming of her center, hugging Diego in her heart until she can in person. The grants are a work in progress, but they're showing up, one seashell, one pancake, one day at a time. It all started because a maid's prayers over a boy's bed revealed a truth nobody else saw. Subscribe for more stories that'll make you laugh, cry, and see the world differently.